Are you a tenant who's facing eviction, but you don't want to move because the neighborhood's great, the apartment's great? You may be looking for a stay and pay agreement with your landlord. My name is Michael Van Zalingen. I'm an Illinois attorney who helps Chicago tenants take control of their eviction so they can protect themselves and their families. Now, there's a couple of things you may want to know about a stay and pay agreement. First, they're voluntary. If your landlord's done everything right, given you a 5-day notice, and you didn't pay the rent in those 5 days, they have no obligation to give you a stay and pay agreement. You have to persuade the landlord to take a pay and stay agreement. And in order to do that, you've got to make it attractive to the landlord. The thing you want to look for there is something that pays off the arrearage in about 3 months. So you'd be looking at paying next month's regular rent on time plus something extra until you get caught up. Otherwise, the landlord is probably going to say it's more economically efficient for me to get you out and put someone else in there. Number 2, get it in writing. The landlord may take your money on the verbal promise that he won't go forward with the eviction. Well, that agreement is not worth the paper. It's not worth none. Okay? So get it in writing. And ideally what you want it to be is an order entered with the court saying that you will pay A, B, and C bucks on these dates. And in exchange, the landlord will do D, E, and F to dismiss the case or whatever the agreement is. But get it in writing and make sure that it's enforceable. The next thing to know is make sure that you don't overcommit. If you promise to pay X dollars on the 15th of the month, make sure you can pay that money. I see lots of people whose pay and stay agreements blow up because they forgot that their car payment was due at the same time and they didn't have the money. Or they didn't realize they had to buy their kids school clothes or whatever. So be certain you can make those payments and don't miss them because your landlord is already upset with you. Don't give him another reason to say, I'm done with you. And lastly, probably the most important thing is that the typical pay and stay agreement says that if you miss a payment, the landlord will go ahead and get an eviction order against you. And that would mean you would waive all of your defenses and rights. So be sure you understand what you're giving up as part of the pay and stay agreement. Thanks for watching. My name is Michael Van Zalingen, and I appreciate your attention.